Hello, viewers. Welcome to this episode of the Sammy Podcast. Here's what's on my mind this week. First up, I want to talk about my bike ride. So I biked the Lehigh Valley Trail North Branch from Honey Falls, New York to Henrietta, New York, and it was a great ride. I mean, it was a short bike ride. It was not too long of a bike ride. It was about in the end, it was pretty much like at least a little like an hour and 1 minute and 40 seconds. I mean, so it wasn't that long of it wasn't too long of a ride. So and and it was pretty awesome. Now and I got some Powerline photos, but it was only one. But I was kind of but I was shocked that, unfortunately, it was only there was only one set of power lines that I could take that I got photos of, which I was not, which typically which kind of, which basically was the same concept which was similar to how the Ontario Pathways Trail only had one set of power lines that to take photos of. So pretty much in the same case as pretty much kind of was in the same had the same concept there. So and it was a good ride. It was pretty much it was just it started out it started at the Rochester Junction part of the Lehigh Valley Trail, and then it ended in this residential neighborhood in Henrietta where it's and but the ride started out where as like a no, and it starts out as like a normal trail, and it started under it started as like a as no, in normal trail conditions and stuff, and then and then and that was and it was good up until it underpassed Erie Station Road, and then once you passed under Erie Station Road, then that's then there's the bad then there was a bad part there. Well, for one, there were a lot of there were these bushes on the side on the sides of the trail, and they were hanging into the trail path, which was very hard, which made it very difficult to get through because it would and because it was because they were a little wet, so I got a little wet, because the bushes got wet were a little wet during the morning hours, so I was so it definitely was very hard to bike through, and so but I was able to, but then I got through that. But the other thing is the other thing. But what else made it difficult was that there was a steep hill curve, up curve, that you and I couldn't even bike it. I couldn't even. I wasn't even able to. I could not bike up this steep hill curve, and so I had to get off my bike and walk it up, and walk my bike up to the top of the hill curve, and then once I got to the flat part of the curve, after the steep hill curve, then I started to bike again, and then after that I finally reached the end point of the North Branch in Henrietta. But now the North Branch technically does continue past Henrietta and continues through West Henrietta and towards Rochester. So it technically does not. So it technically didn't. It technically really doesn't end in Henrietta. It technically continues past there, but which I've already done. I already did the North Branch part of the trail from Rochester to West Henrietta. I already did that part some years ago. But this time, but this part was the Honeywell Falls to Henrietta section. So and once I got and then it ends right at, and then and then after I got to the end of it, near this neighborhood, near entrance to a neighborhood residential area, and I encountered a set of two power lines going through, so I took some photos of those, which for my Facebook users, you should be able to see them on my Sam on the worldwide on my Facebook, on my Powerline Facebook group, so you should be able to see them there. I took selfies of myself. But I also took selfies of myself as I start at the start, the end, and then back to the start. So I technically took some selfies of myself along the ride. So definitely was definitely a great trail. I mean, just to admit, the only parts that made it difficult were some hanging bushes lingering into the trail path and a steep hill curve. But other than that, it was a it was a great trail. So to bike. So yeah. Next up, I have a ish. Next up, I have an issue. So so per so per so I have so and this issue is related to storing my Lego Technic sets. So in this in down in the basement, I mostly have been storing my Lego Technic sets in our storage room on wooden shelf units, and I thought it was a and I liked I've done that and they sit there for a while, and then but the only thing I don't but I just but now I but now but most recently I just don't I'm starting to not like it because one, I think things are, well, they obviously get dusty, and because the storage room they end up getting dusty and get dust on them, and that's not what I want. And I want to make sure I keep and I don't like that, and that's not what I want for these tended vehicles. I want them to be displayed and dust free, but putting them on shelves or shelving or wooden shelving units is not gonna that is not gonna help keep them dust free. It's just gonna that's just gonna make them get dusty because they're sitting out and they're gonna get dust on them no matter. So I really wish I'm in need of a solution to this problem, to my issue, and I don't. And I'm not sure now. I was thinking about finding some kind of display, something that some kind of display case thing that I could put each of them inside, and that would keep them dust free. But unfortunately, some of those cost a lot, like hundreds of dollars and that's not really good for budget for my, and that's really high for budget reason, and that's basically, and that is definitely exceeds my budget limit, my budget, how much money I could budget. So so if that's not gonna work, then what else do I do? I mean, what else am I gonna do? How else am I gonna? What am I gonna? How am I gonna? What is gonna be the solution to my issue? I mean, if I can't if a display case for each individual thing is gonna cost if they cost over $100 each. I mean, what do I do then? I mean, there's got to be. I really just want to find a solution to this issue that I've had for quite some years. And I want to figure out how to keep them dust free because I don't want them getting dust on them, and that's what ruins Lego Tenant sets for me. So if I can find if there's so if any of you if any of you know any ways that I can that any solutions that I can use to keep my Lego tennis sets free of dust, then please do leave some suggestions in the comments below, because I would really appreciate some ideas of solutions that would help keep my Lego tennis sets free dust free. So next up, I am losing interest in Lego Speed Champion sets. So I have Speed Champion now. The reason I am losing interest in Speed Champion sets is because, well, first of all, they're real. Sure you get real. They're basically, well, Lego system based Lego licensed cars, but at the same time, I'm when I want licensed Lego when I want licensed vehicle models, I tend to go for Lego Technic more than Lego Speed Champions for those. Because with Lego Technic they provide like features like hand of God steering or RC ability or RC control or remote control or pullback. Lego Technic's got a lot of fun. I like Lego Technic I like buying licensed vehicle models via Lego Technic sets because they have a lot of because they're full of functions. But whereas Lego Speed Champions licensed vehicle models, I just don't like. I don't like Lego Speed Champion. I'm not really. If I want, I really don't. Sure they're the only thing about them is that it's plate that you can drive the cars around. But that you have to do with your hand. But you have to do that with your hand. But you have to control that with your hand, with your actual hand. And you could set and they give you minifigures, but in terms of, but I like Lego 10, but I would rather buy a licensed vehicle model that's in the Lego Technic line and has functions rather than buying one in the Lego Speed Champions line that is just for play reasons, and starting now, I am going to stop buying Lego Speed Champion. I am losing interest in Lego Speed Champion sets, and I'm gonna start, and I will start, and I am going to, and this is the official start of not buying any more of permanently not buying Lego Speed Champion sets anymore. So now for licensed vehicle models, I am going to go for I'm going to stick with Lego Technic. So yeah. Thank you for watching this episode of the Sammy Podcast, and I will see you on the next episode. So until then, see you next time.